just this whole, hands approach, just, I was teaching my son, if someone, asking him, hey, is someone bullying you? Because he wasn't using all his words at that time, and I wanted him to be able to express himself so he could tell me if someone was doing something, and then how we now should approach the situation. I didn't get the chance to speak to Malaya yet about any of that. If someone is, bullying you, how do you go about it? So far I've learned to pray about everything and to challenge that fear by just going straight to you. That is probably what I was doing most of the time. And some of it I didn't recognize that I was doing, like continuing to, just depend on you solely and not man at all. Like, I had got it from David, and that is Old Testament. Don't let me be put in the hands of man. Like I was saying, there's been issues with that in history where man has gotten violent. Killings, murder, touched in the private areas. Women and men together, not understanding each other, and then, being offended and wanting to defend themselves. Sometimes somebody's an aggressor, and sometimes the person is not an aggressor. And it's trying to figure out how to just be safe and protected. And sometimes the environment is the issue. The outside environment or past environment. And the past is kind of creeping up into a person's life and affecting someone else. And they don't know it. So, my kids, if you guys are watching this video, I'm not saying don't smoke. If you ever do watch this video, don't just pick it up because you've seen your mother doing it. Because it's not something I necessarily just wanted to walk into. It was in my environment. Somebody shared it with me. And I picked it up. And so I'm not sharing it with you. So I don't expect you to pick it up. I wouldn't really want you to smoke. But I'm not going to force you into you thinking like me. And I don't want anybody to be forced into my past. Or how I was seeking God. Because God actually had to defend me and protect me. So, anyways, the whole, the legal papers, law. You know, I started being, attacked by it. People around me were not understanding law. In the Bible, they had law, Roman law. And then prior to that, there were other laws, worldwide, basically, on paper, written by men. We the people. In the West and the East, it started with Parliament and tort laws, and so. Asking God about how police began to police people. It was a issue I was having in trying to protect my son and my daughter. At the time, I wasn't thinking about my daughter because my son was older, and how to protect them from school and from our marriage, from the marriage with their dad. Because I wasn't always feeling safe or protected. I wasn't always using our voice to talk to God. Even though I learned how to pray, but then I also learned how to pray some very bad prayers too. So those are things I will talk about with you personally. Because, people that we know were using them from the Bible. They were using the Old Testament prayers and praying that for people. And that was not good. All prayer points don't come from the Bible. Sometimes you can use them, and sometimes can't use that person's past to pray. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying that sometimes. And God is the one who determines what prayer He answers and which ones He won't, because He's the one who knows how to answer a prayer properly. Doesn't always listen to the bad ones, and sometimes, and the good ones, maybe He does listen to. But I don't always know. I'm just, His daughter that He created, and quite naturally He would want to protect His daughter as His son. I have been protected in many ways, and in other ways I just didn't feel so protected. So I'm having to grow up trying to figure out how to get money or win was difficult, and it is. So things I talk about, I'm seeking to protect myself, my children, and to be in a safe environment. walking, talking, and just being still. Everybody does not just pursue money, but just know that money is not the whole answer. Sometimes it does feed you, or maybe God's going to do something different. Isaiah 44. He said he was, and the Bible does talk about how he is going to do something different. We're going to talk different. We're probably not going to be talking about this years down the line, because people do get together and they can to argue and not agree with the so-called government, because Jesus Christ is the government. The government is on his shoulders. He's not the government, but the government is on his shoulders. The people. So it's not on ours. And we care for people, but sometimes we can't care all the way into their situations. So love for my children and for myself. Can't care into every situation. Can't love into every situation. Sometimes you do have to speak up. Even sometimes you might be wrong. You just gotta talk. You have to talk to God too first. That helps you to be able to talk to other people. And sometimes you're interacting with them and they just, things are going with the flow. Sometimes the flow of it is not you or them. And sometimes it's not them, sometimes it's the past. Sometimes it's, work. And that's how sometimes they operate. Daddy was bringing home, trying to pay bills, and bringing home the job. And I just didn't want to hear it all day, because I believed in Jesus, and I didn't believe in doctors, to fix people. Sometimes people did get, torn up, ligaments and stuff. But I naturally, and you naturally, if you got torn up, you want somebody to fix it. You wouldn't want to just have no way for it to be sewn up, like an arm, snapped in pieces. So, get a cast on it, looks like it's being fixed by man, but God's fixing it. I have a voice, and I will always have one. I would never not have a voice. Speak up for myself. And I would, appreciate it if you respect my decisions. talk to me, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to God about it. You can talk to God about it too. You gotta, tell somebody about me and I made you upset, then that's fine too. But don't just be upset with me for a while and not deal with it. I'm always going to be your mother. I will always love you, whether present or not. There's never going to be a spot in me because God made me to be a mommy. And I always wanted to be a mommy. Not, as a child, obviously, but as I started to grow and be with your dad, I want to be a mommy. I didn't think that I was going to be a mommy. I didn't know I could have kids. God proved me wrong. I had 2 other children, and I got an abortion because it was available. I told your dad about it, and he didn't know about it, and I felt bad afterwards when we had the conversation. And I sent out 2 balloons for them in the sky, because after a while it began to hurt me that I did that. So, but it was my choice. I was very young. I didn't know how to take care of baby, and the guy I was with naturally probably did not either because we didn't have kids. And I was touched at an early age and did some things, personal things I will share with you as you grow. So I won't try to keep it all the way. I don't want to relive it though with you. And if you have questions, I'll answer the best I can. If you don't, then you don't. I didn't always like school. Sometimes I did like learning things, but it wasn't like I wanted to take a test to learn it. I always hated tests. Tests always made me cringe. Just grew up to understand work. Work may not be the same thing it was for me for you. Because then when baby Michael was born, I went out. While he was born, and I went to work for the first time in a while because I was taking care of my babies. Taught Emmanuel how to read by 10 months. At 10 months, he was reading and walking. Reading. But, I didn't know if, he understood all the words or how to teach him to understand the words and how to express himself, as he began to get older. Because he was reading, so I was, thinking he was learning, and you were learning. Obviously you were, so sometimes, things happened where people came into our environment, and I was frustrated by it, and I didn't know how to deal with it. and I affected you. And my daughter, baby Micah, I didn't get a chance to raise him like I really wanted to, and that hurt me, and it does hurt me still, not inside my body, but it hurts my feelings, because he didn't know me as mom, and you know, I'm trying to fix that now. So, I'm just praying that God will allow me to fix it. Not me fix it, but He will fix it for me. So, they got courts, but God is not a court. He's not just a judge or anything, but He has His words for His own words. Yesterday I was just listening to someone on YouTube and realized, because the Bible does say that God, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And I've experienced some things like God's power, and I realized that God doesn't really have to use words like how I'm talking to you. He doesn't. I think it's pretty cool. But, sometimes He does desire to share. And, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, depending on your situation. If you're in trouble, He's going to help you. If you're not, then continue living your beautiful life. I just always wanted you guys to feel free. Not free enough to, feel like you don't have God. Just free. Live. Do what you want to do. Don't do what Dad says or Mom says. Like, as far as something you want to do, like to make money or something. And then if they don't, if God, prepares us in a way where you don't have to go to the grocery store, or you don't have to get food in a certain way, or clothes, or, I wear clothes, so I've taught you guys to wear clothes. It wasn't like I just, taught myself either, so. Clothes. I'm not going to judge you by what you put on. My little girl, I might, take a look, is your butt showing? Some things are okay and cute to wear, some things is way too, men look. Especially when you're little, some people have not had good situations where they know how to look okay. They know how to look at you okay. And some people have. They do have good situations where they know how to treat a woman. Or a man. Or a child. Some people don't have kids and they don't know. And some people do. They got siblings. So these are things I had to learn myself. Because I've gone to God and had to go to God. Why they don't understand? Why don't they understand? Where's the answer to my prayers? And are you answering? Where's my mom? Where's my dad? When they were working. Or, my dad wasn't there. Where's Dad? Yes, I have a relationship with my dad, and it's growing. And you probably ask, where's Grandpa? He was around. He did talk to you. Probably not Malaya, but he did talk to you, Emmanuel, and not Micah. Right now, at this moment, it's October 23rd. It's your dad's birthday, actually, today. October 23rd, 2022. Today's your dad's birthday. Happy birthday to him. I don't hate your dad. We both just were young and growing, and we did not always understand, God or ourselves in our situation. And sometimes with the past, obviously, with that we have. I don't know what's going to happen because me and him didn't work. The church that we went to, and me seeking God and trying to understand God, things were not connecting at that time, and I don't know the plans for me. Right now, I'm not with him. And I don't know if I want to be. I don't blame him. I forgive him. And I just, wanted the same in return. And I did not get that. And it could be for many reasons. And those are the things I can't answer because he has his own voice. And sometimes he didn't know how to have his own voice, especially when we were going to the church. Because I did not know how. Even though we were praying, didn't know that the situation was not how we were supposed to do it. Me covering my head, wearing a clothing like I did, and sharing it with my daughter and my son, cutting your hair. Those are things that the church was preaching, and it was wrong. God is not physical church. He's bigger than that. And the church is everyone around us, but he's the one who fixes them. We don't fix them. We can try to talk to them, conversate, but it, may not fix anything. It kind of might feel good for them, and it might be, you may or they might be someone to talk to, and it might fix something that you didn't know. Somebody years ago told me, the hair is a woman's glory. A woman's hair on her head, or a man's hair, it's a glory. But that's not what the scripture meant for the man. With Paul's perspective, he was talking about homosexuality, lesbianism. Things that a man with a man and a woman with a woman. Things I didn't understand growing up. God didn't like it. And it's not a good situation at all. And so I love you very much, and God loves you more. And he loves you more than I do. Just remember that one. He knows how to love you better. I know how to love you with hugs and kisses and cuddles and squeezes and talking and cooking and cleaning for you or something, but I'm not a slave. Your grandma loves you. Your granddad loves you. But God loves you more. You know? They do the best they can. So do I. Friends, when I had you guys, it was difficult for me to, get friends. I was growing, still am growing, and that's where, I'm still growing, It was difficult because I couldn't, figure out how to socialize with you guys. You guys were young, and I was just sending you to school for the first time and learning what that was like for me and for you. I did not know, but I could imagine because I went to school as a kid, and I met some friends, and they were kids, and there were difficulties sometimes with us making friends. But, many of them, some of them I'm still friends with. I know them. Some people have gone back home to God, God took them away. Sometimes they had difficult situations and people did things to them. So, when God takes me away one day, I want you to know I love you, and just keep me in your heart. My grandma told me that. My grandma loved you. Your great grandmother. She told me keep her in my heart. And I do. I keep all of them in my heart. And not my physical heart, but I remember them with love in the good times. So, keep God in your heart too. Love Him with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your understanding. That's what it says, the Bible. And that's always what I try to do. But, that's where I started understanding the word love. And it's different from a relationship with a man or a woman. And but don't confuse it with a woman's love or a man's love, because it's different. A man or a woman together, they can't love you like God can. A man and a woman together, they can love each other. Sometimes trying doesn't just do it, Because I did try to love your dad. I tried the best I could. I tried my best. I tried. And right now I just want to move forward. Because I'm 38 now, I'm getting older, and I don't know when my time, when God says, your time is, finished. You're on the earth. I'm taking you back home. So I want to love someone. And I want them to love me. I pray about it. So I want to be loved by my children too. That is really important for me. I want you guys to always love me. Even when you don't, like the way I treat you, or I've said something, or done something, or I didn't know something. Don't hate me. Obey your mom and your dad the best you can. Pray about it. Talk to God normally. Like I'm talking right now. You just talk to Him about anything.
I play the piano. I got 20 songs that I made. This I have promoted. I put my information right here, Lord, because I want you to never forget me. Because this is a career for me. Just asking for whatever God allow you, baby, for my music, baby. Any donation for it, baby. If you wouldn't mind, and I really appreciate
I really don't have cash on me right now.
I'll take 1 cent for it, and I got cash out, mama. Whatever God allow you to scrape up, mama. Just want you to check it out for me.
I really don't have it. Thank you. Have a blessed day. My granddaddy always, and then my my granddad always taught me some good stuff, and the things that he taught me, some of the things he did, he might have got it from the Bible, or maybe he just did it because he didn't want to see someone without food, like for instance, a homeless person. I was homeless before. I didn't have a place to sleep. I slept in the car, and asked God for help. And, He helped me with an apartment. I was gone for a long time, and, I called 911 on your dad. I was just talking to God today about how he may not had 911 to call in the East because there was the laws were a little funny. The cops were actually sometimes corrupt. And same here in the West. So call 911. When I called God or prayed to God. I was doing some things that God didn't like, just trying to learn how to understand Him, and I got stuck in some people's understandings on their relationship with trying to understand God and how to understand them, and a lot of people are getting stuck in this whole idea of Africa and how to understand their heritage. They didn't know that they were Hebrew Israelites. So mommy's a Hebrew, and so are you, and so I never knew that. They would call you, black or African American, or they call your dad African, or Nigerian, or Igbo, or immigrant, or foreigner. But he's none of those things. Neither am I. We're not skin colors, and I never did teach you about skin color. Never. There was a time, Emmanuel, when, there was some coloring book. You brought it home and you colored, and, you colored whatever you wanted to color, and I just said, what color's not me? I didn't tell you the formulation, you just colored. And that was it. I had a bad experience with it, so I did not share it with you. Daddy shared something with you about how he was affected. And I don't know how it affected you, but I don't want you to hold it inside you. Because it's not you. And it's not your situation. And I don't want you to be scared of the police. Now he's back.